So now we have this setup. I will add one more file, let's say utils.js. Here we'll add all the utility methods and all. So let's say it is a class and it will be exported as a class, export class util. Okay, and we'll have few parameters there. So here we'll have like first of all what we'll do is we'll load all our assets, the images that we have added. So we can like instead of image we'll create the image object that can be used inside our program. So let's define one static field, let's say images, and let's initialize it with empty object and create one static method, let's say static load assets. So what it will do is it will load all the images that we have. Okay, and let's make it asynchronous, so it will load asynchronously. Now before like moving further, what I will do is I will reference all the image path here, so that if you have to change anything means I can just change in the setting the file name or anything. So let's go here and create all the objects for that. Okay, so first of all we'll go with background. So let's say background image path is dot slash assets slash, let's copy this. So this is our background. Let me copy this couple of times. Okay, so we have background. Let's say now for base it's just base.png. Then let's say we'll add the bird later because we have multiple for bird. Let me copy this again. Okay, so we have base and background, let's say pipe top, and that will be our this image. Then we have a pipe bottom, that will be this one. Okay, then we have bird, so let's say bird unflap, and let's copy this. Let's close this. So let's say bird upflap is this one. So when the bird's wing is in the up direction, then we have bird mid flap, so let's replace this, and then bird down flap. Okay, so now we have everything defined here. Let's go to our utils and load all those. So first of all here also we'll load the background image, let's say. So what we'll do, we'll create const, let's say bg image equals to new image. So this will actually help us create the image object, and then we'll set the source in it. So let's say source equals to settings, it got imported dot bg image path, and then we'll do util dot images, and there at bg we'll set this, so bg image, so we can refer it with bg from these images. Similar way we'll do for all other image. So let's say base. Let's save it here. Let's name it base. Here we'll refer base image path. Okay. Same way, let's do for pipe top and pipe bottom. So let's say pipe top, pipe top image. Here it will become pipe top image path, and here let's say pipe top. Same way, let's create for pipe bottom. Pipe bottom, let's say, let's set the source to pipe bottom image path, and here let's say pipe bottom. Okay, now for bird we have three files, and we will be loading it dynamically based on some conditions so that it can give an animation of bird flying. So what we'll do is we'll actually create let's say util dot images, and here for bird we'll initialize it with empty array, and then we'll load all the images related to bird here. So let's say we'll do in the similar way, just one step more we'll have to do. So here what we'll do is, let's say bird up flap, bird up, and this one will use bird up flap, and instead of this what we'll do is images dot bird, let's use it like this, dot bird, and we'll push it to that array, bird up image. Okay, let's remove this and let's repeat this process. So we have bird up, let's say bird mid, let's push that, and here also let's use bird mid flap. Then here let's say bird down, and here we can use bird down flap. Okay, so now we have like all the images loaded. Let's go and render these images and all the objects. So we'll come to this, and we'll like for now, let's say in the train AI we'll just try to render all the objects. So let's remove it. Okay, so let's close this. What we'll do is I will add one new folder here, let's say game, where we can have all the classes related to game. So the first class, let's say, will be bird, and then we'll have for pipe. Okay, so let's create the bird class. So we'll export class, let's say bird. Okay, now what attributes the bird can have? So we'll create one constructor to initialize the bird, and let's say it will have x position and y position. So what we'll do is this dot x is equals to x, and this dot y is equals to y. So whatever parameter comes, that will be initialized to its variable. So what actually these parameters are, so this is our canvas, this is the origin, like 0 0, right side is positive x, and downward is positive y. So what we are defining, that is which position on the screen, on this canvas, our bird should be created. So that is where the x and y coordinates we are defining. So for now, let's say it will have just these two parameters, and let's define one function. let's name it draw. Okay, it will get the context where we want to draw. Basically no need to give this name, it will by default take it. So now let's say ctx dot draw image. So we are going to draw image on the canvas, and this ctx is actually the context that we have get from the canvas here. Okay, so let's go to the bird, and in the draw image we have to pass actually which image we want to draw. So let's say for now util dot images dot bird dot 0 I want to draw, so be lowercase. Okay, and after image we have to give the like position where we want to draw it. So I want it to be drawn on this dot x and this dot y coordinate, and then we have to give the height and width that it will cover. So that again let's create in the settings. So let's say bird width, let's define it to be 20, and bird height, let's make it also 20. Okay, now let's refer it here. So we'll use settings dot bird width and settings dot bird height. Okay, one more thing, add .js here, otherwise it will give some issues. Okay, so now we have the basic logic to draw the bird here. Now let's go to pipe, and here also let's create the class. So let's say class pipe, and let's add a constructor. So here we just want one parameter for now. Let's say this dot x is equals to x. So what we want is like where in the x direction this pipe should come, and the height like that. This pipe will have two parts, the top part and the bottom part. Both will have same x, but the y will be different. So we'll calculate the y, and there will be some pipe gap, and then the bottom pipe will come. So we'll calculate those things. So let's say for now we have only this part, and let's say for now this dot y is 100. We'll add our calculation logic later. And then we have a draw method. It will accept context, and so we'll first let's say draw top pipe. So in the similar way we'll have to draw. So draw image, and here we'll give util dot images dot, let's say, pipe top. Okay, then we have to give the position. So let's say it will be drawn on this dot x. Okay, and y will be 0 for top pipe, like it will start from the very top where y is 0. And then height and let's say width will define in our settings file. So let's go to settings and define pipe width, and let's say it's gonna be 30, and let's define one more variable here, pipe gap. Let's say it's gonna be 150. So it is like how much gap should be there between top and bottom pipe. Okay, now again let's go to pipe. So on for width we'll take settings dot pipe width, and for height let's say for now we'll take this dot y. Okay, so this is our top pipe. Let's draw a bottom pipe also. So this is gonna be bottom pipe. So here let's take pipe bottom. Okay, this will also be drawn on this dot x, but it will not be drawn on 0. So it should be drawn like how much height we have for the top pipe and then how much gap we have. So from that point it will start. So let's say it will be this dot x plus settings dot pipe gap. This should be this dot y. So it will start from this position, and then width will be same, but for height let's say it's gonna be settings dot window height. So let's say for now it's going to be this much, but we'll add the calculation logic based on the background and the base that we add. So we have a draw logic for pipe. Let's go to util, and here we'll create one method, that is, let's say, static draw window. Here we'll pass uh, again ctx, the context, and all the birds that we have to draw, all the pipes that we have to draw, and later we'll enhance this method to cover more objects. So let's say first of all we'll draw the background. Let's say background. So it will be similar logic like ctx dot draw image, and we'll use from util only images dot bg, and it will cover basically full screen. So let's say it will start from 0 0, and it will take win width and win height. Settings dot win height. Okay, now let's draw the base. So we have ctx dot draw image, and then from util images we'll get the base, and base will basically start let's say somewhere here. So it should the starting point for x will be 0, but y will be, let's say, bottom 15% will give to base and top 85% will give to the background and the other play area. So since this is our 0, the y will be like 85% of this total window height. So it should start from, let's say, 0 on x, but on y it should start from setting dot window height into 0.85. okay, and for like width and height, it should cover the full on x direction, like full width, and on y it should cover the 15%. So let's give that. So let's say x will be setting dot win width, and here will be settings dot win height into 0.15. okay, so this is our base, and then like whatever birds we have, so let's draw all those. So we'll get each bird, and then we'll call the draw method for that bird by passing ctx. Similar way we'll do for pipes. Okay, so now we have the basic drawing logic there. Let's go to our main, and let's create like this base pipes, and let's try to draw it. So let's say we'll create bird first. Const bird equals to new bird. Okay, now where this bird should be actually spawned, so let's add one variable here for that as well. So let's say bird init x. Let's say it will by default come on 200, and bird init y will be somewhere around 350. Let's say around the somewhat around middle of the screen. Okay, so we have this thing. Let's try to pass it here. So settings dot bird init x, and settings dot bird init y. Okay, now let's create one pipe as well. So let's say const pipe equals new pipe, and here we just need to pass the x direction. So let's say for now the pipe will come at let's say 300. Okay, now let's create one array for these things. So const birds and const pipes, and let's add the bird we created to this. So push bird, and let's push pipe to the pipes array. Okay, now let's call the draw window method from util. So draw window, let's pass the context, the birds and the pipes. Okay, let's save it and let's see what it draw. So it did not draw. Let's see if there is some error. Okay, so we have some errors here. So let's see the bird and pipe files. So if you see here, by default this VS Code did not add the JS. So here we have it. Now let's see if we have any other issues. So there is one more place where this settings is called. Okay, here, yeah. So let's save it. Okay, now if like this is coming properly. Now if I click on train AI, nothing happened. Let's see, again some error came. Okay, so it's saying on util, when we are trying to draw the background image, it is not of type image. Okay, so the reason here is when we are trying to draw it, but till now this method is not called, so the assets are not loaded. So let's try to do that here. So what we'll do, we'll call the util dot load assets here, and let's say await. So it will wait for the load to complete. Now if I click on this, so it loaded the background, it loaded base, it loaded the pipe and our bird. But the thing is, pipe is being like overriding on this, overlapping on the base. So let's try to fix that. So to fix the pipe overlapping, let's go to pipe and let's see how much height we have given. So we have given currently the full win height. So what we'll do is, let's see how much part of the win height is covered by the top. So that much we can actually reduce. So first of all, how much area we have for pipe to render. So the bottom 15% is covered by base, so we have top 85% only. So let's get that area. Then from this, let's remove, let's say this dot y. So this is the area on which this top pipe will be covered, and this, let's reduce this pipe gap. So let's say minus settings dot pipe gap. Now if I save it and go here, can click on this, so it is coming perfectly aligned. So we have the basic attributes rendered on this. We'll add some physics like the movement logic to pipe and the bird. So let's go to bird and let's create two methods. Let's say one is jump and one is move. Okay, so while jumping, or first let's write the move logic. So we'll calculate the like displacement here. So first of all, let's say whenever it comes to this part, the tick will be increased by 1. So this tick will represent the time factor. So let's create one tick variable on the class level. Let's initialize it with 0, so it is a time instant 0, and every time this move is called, the time will be increased by 1. And then let's calculate the displacement. Let's say let displacement equals to, we will use the formula ut plus half at square to calculate the displacement, where u will be the initial velocity, like the velocity of the bird. So let's define that as well here. So let's say bird velocity, and it's gonna be like whenever bird will try to move or jump, means it will try to go upward. So let's define it -2 for now. So let's refer that here, setting dot bird velocity into tick. Let's say this dot tick, that is our time, plus half into the a represent the acceleration, that is the gravity, the pull by the gravity. So let's say gravity is just 1. So now we can multiply it with settings dot gravity, and then with a square of time, that is tick into this dot tick. Okay, so now we have the displacement calculated. What we'll do is we'll like do some throttling on the displacement so it does not become too high. So let's see, if displacement is greater than 10, let's reset it to 10, and if displacement is less than 0, let's make it -2. And once our displacement is finally calculated, what we'll do is we'll like add this calculated displacement to the y of bird. So this will give it like up or downward movement. Like if the displacement is negative, means it will go upward; if it is positive, it will go downward. And whenever the bird try to jump, what we'll do is we'll reset the tick value. So let's say tick is 0, so time will be reset to 0 whenever it jumps, so that the displacement or the pull by the gravity will start afresh. And we'll do one more thing here. We'll add one variable, let's say this dot image index. Okay, and so what we'll do, as we saw, like we have 3 bird images to render. So based on this, like currently we were just rendering what we have at the 0th index, but now we'll use this image index, and based on that we'll render it. So let's say initially it is 0, and whenever bird jump upward, the image will change. So it will give, like whenever bird is jumping, it will give a flying feel. So let's say whenever it jump, this dot image index will become this dot image index plus 1. So we'll add 1, and then do a reminder division with 3. So as soon as it becomes 3, it will again be reset to 0. Okay, so with this is done, we have the bird movement set. Let's go to pipe, and let's say whenever we call the move method on pipe, so the pipe will move from like right to left. So again we'll have some pipe velocity. Let's define it here. Let's say pipe velocity, let's say it is gonna be 4 for now. We'll tune it if it is too fast or too slow. Let's go to pipe, and whenever move is called, what we'll do is we'll update the x, like reduce the setting dot pipe velocity. So we'll reduce the x, so it will give like go leftward. Okay, so we have the velocity is defined. Let's see it in action. So I'm just giving the movement here, like after creating the bird and all, we'll just try to move it, and then again we'll redraw this. Let's see how it affects. Okay, there is some error again. Invalid property initializer in settings. Let's see why. So we here we should use colons in citizen object. Seems fine now. Let's click on train AI. So nothing is on the screen, and here we have some error. The image index is not defined. Okay, let's go to bird. So we should use this to refer the image index of current object. Okay, let's refresh and let's try to render it again. Still we don't see any movement. Let's see what is the problem now. Okay, pipe.move is not a method. The reason is we should be using pipe object, not class. Okay, now if I click on this, it seems to be stuck. Let me stop it. I think this loop keep going, and it does not actually draw anything. I can add it here. Let me stop this and relaunch it. Let's see if it renders anything. So still it is getting stuck. So let's not use the while loop here. Let me stop it. So while loop seems to be like moving too fast, and that is making our browser go hang. So what we'll do is, instead of this, we'll use let's say one method. Let's call it loop, and here we'll pass our bird and pipe, and let's pass context as well, and here we'll try to do all the move logic. So whenever it comes here, it will move the bird, move the pipe, and let's call it from here loop. Let's pass bird, pipe and context, and after doing this, it will render it. Let's add function here, so it is a function. Okay, now what we'll do is not birds but bird and pipe. Now we'll use one JavaScript method, say request animation frame, and there we can actually pass this loop method, bird, pipe and context. So basically it will help us render it in proper FPS. If I save it and again click on go live and start this, so the image came, but here we see some issue. Birds.map is not a function. Okay, so the problem here is if you see the utils method, it is expecting array, but we have passed just single object, so that is causing issue. So what we'll do is, here instead of bird, let's pass birds, pipes. Here also let's say birds and pipes. So same thing could be rendered. Here also we'll pass this again, and here let's say birds.map, and for each bird we'll add the move, similar to pipes. So let's say pipes dot map, that will be pipe, and we'll move all the pipe. Do we have just one pipe here? Now let's see. If I go here, click on train AI, so it is moving. So pipe is moving, but we don't see any movement on our bird. There is no error, but the bird did not move. Let's see why. Let's add some debugging logic to see why our bird did not move. So whenever move is called, let's see console.log, and let's say displacement equals to, so let's see how much displacement is coming, and then why this y is not actually reducing. And if this y is reducing, what we are drawing here is, okay, here the problem is we have given just this dot x here, so it is taking xx only. So now we have given y, it should work fine. Yeah, so now we saw it fall down. Okay, so now the pooling logic is working. Let's say we add one like jump logic as well. So instead of move, let's say this time it will jump. Let's see what happens. You can see the bird is flying. Since with jump logic we do not have any extra like logic added to go up, the up or down movement will happen through move method, and we are not calling move, that's why it's just flapping on the same place. But once we call the move, it will like start going up and down.